Okay. Uh, that means we're recording. Oh shit!
This does.
Yeah, that was the. What are those things called?
That's industry standard. Yeah, that's how you do a slate. You just come out
Yeah.
of nowhere, you hit the thing, and everybody starts.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Everybody start now.
All at once.
Everybody
Are you
start
telling
all
me
at
we
once.
now lost everything we just did?
What do you mean we lost it?
Yeah, just do it all over one more time.
What? But
It
we
was
weren't
so
doing.
good,
But
Jed.
we weren't.
Go ahead.
But we weren't doing anything. I'm gonna start because swimming is so hard and it's so scary to go to the swimming pool at 7 in the morning. I went to Mount Tam instead of going to the other one.
It's a
And
sailing pool, isn't it?
it is, which is
Yeah.
nice. Salty, is nice, but you roll in there. I rolled in there early because it takes me 3 minutes to get there. Right, it's very close. And there is probably already 20, 50, 60, and 70-year olds in line waiting to get in. Like they do not muck around at that place. And they all have their like swimmy robe coats. Do you guys know? Have you seen those? They're like they're
Yep.
like
They're like the graduation gown, but you graduate into being an amazing swimmer.
they're like big thick coats that are in rope shape that probably have like towel material on the inside, but they all wear those, right? And they got their swimsuit underneath, and they all wear those to the pool. And they all have like cool clubs on the back of them. So it's like the Marin County Pirates and the like San Francisco swimmer guys. And so you show up there, and they're all like hardcore, and you don't know what's going on. And then the guy comes and opens the gate, and everybody just floods in, and basically just like tries their best to take a lane at the pool, and it was very intimidating. So I just walked in there, and I jumped in the pool, and I started swimming, and then I was like that. The dude didn't ask me if I paid or anything. I just walked right by him and just jumped in the pool. I was not a good not a good
Patron.
patron of the place. But it was scary. And swimming is hard. That's my lesson for today.
I'm terrified
Swimming
to swim.
is. It is. Well, like I said, it is just drowning. It is drowning for the first bit until you just figure out your rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's fine.
I was like swimming like 100 meters and swimming way too fast and not able to breathe and just being like, this sucks for like for the first like 20 minutes. I was like, I don't know, why did I ever like doing this? And then after that, I kind of found my rhythm, and I slowed down, and I started swimming. It's like, oh, okay,
So,
it's not what I thought it was.
so a couple things. One time we were swimming, so I had these goggles that were like the super cool guy swimming goggles that look cool and like have the reflective colors. They don't look cool on me, but people look cool in them, and like they're tinted too. But you're swimming at straight 5:30 in the morning where we would swim, and so it was just dark, and I saw nothing. My goggles would fog because it's cold, and then I couldn't see anything. And at one time they broke, and I borrowed Decker's extra pair of goggles, and I got in the water, and I was like physically embarrassed how much of the pool I could see. I was like, wait a second, everybody can see everybody swimming all the time? Like, this is how it works?
It's like
like,
it's like you're not in the water at all. It's just like a slightly different color floating reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was just like in it. I would swam for like a year in just like haze, just like blurry haze. We were just swimming along, bubble sounds and blurry haze. And then I put those on. I was like, oh wait, like we could see each other doing this. This is crazy. Good grief. There's also another thing of there's a lady that I'd swim with, and she's a lady that like her kids played baseball on Gibson's baseball team when he played it years ago. And they're fairly competitive. And one time I was swimming, I got out of the pool and she's like, "Oh, I saw you there." And I was like, "Oh, I did. Hey, I didn't see you." She's like, "Yeah, I was keeping up with you, and like you were up on me in a lap here, and then I got up on you." And I was like, "What? We're just like you're keeping track of score, and I am literally just trying not to drown right now."
Try not to die.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So swimming is super hard. And then I have a Zwift update for everybody. Zwift looks very cool. It looks like it's got a lot of the good like gamification stuff that we want, but fundamentally you're still just doing training, so it's gonna suck still. But it's got you can drift, you can change your clothes, and that's fun.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And we can get in
And
races, which is scary, but we could get in races with people. And I can't start a Sad Boys Club until I'm level 5. So when I'm level 5,
How do you become level 5?
I don't know, but I rode for 25 minutes and I got to level 3, and so it's probably not that far away.
Okay.
So that's nice.
They don't want people level 1 leading the blind, literally.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
But
you did it. You used the mode where it shifted for you as far as changed your wattage.
yeah, so it works in 2 ways. There's erg mode, and then there's just resistance. And if you're doing a training exercise, it will run it in erg mode, which is going to say, like, no matter what you do, it's going to pull that set of watts out of your trainer, right? And so it's like you're going to push it 145 watts right now, and you're going to ride 180 watts right now, and you're going to go back to whatever. But then at the end, it was just like free riding, and it was just resistance. And then your gears and shit all worked nice. And like, it was interesting. I like leaned into it and sprinted a little bit just to see like what it would do. And it reacted very, very well. I was actually super pumped about that. That part, that's really cool. Also, you can give people thumbs up when you ride by them. Like, you can click on their name and give them a thumbs up, which is pretty cool.
Can you emote anything else, or is it just you only can do thumbs up?
No, you just and you don't even do a thumbs up. Like, they don't animate that. It's just like a thumbs up will appear above their head. It's like, pling. Like somebody gave you a thumbs up, buddy.
All right, I like it.
But other than that, I did run. My goals were to run and to swim this week, and I did those. I did both of those things. So I only ran one time. So that's nice.
Nice. But how did it feel? Like, how was your run?
Run is interesting. Run felt actually pretty nice because it was sunny and felt lovely outside, so that didn't hurt. But what was interesting about it was it felt like the cardio engine was doing okay. It's just the skeletal muscular system was not ready for it. So my legs got wrecked. Just absolutely wrecked. But it was heartening. It felt positive. Okay, that's my update. What's next person's update?
Showing
Who's
you did some
next?
stuff.
John,
I
You
did.
are.
I ran at least 3 miles. That was my goal.
Hell yeah.
I made it over 4, which was nice. I ran 2 miles this morning. So
Wait a minute.
Nice.
You did 2 this morning?
yeah.
How did it go? How did it feel?
And I didn't like, I was just running because my watch died again. I have a new one on order. It's coming on Monday. The replacement, because my battery just is shit. So they're just gonna send me a replacement. Anyway, I felt really good. I was really worried about my knee. I would get runner's knee all the time, and I got it the first time I ran last Sunday. I was like, oh no, here we go. But that's the only day that I've had it.
That
I did do
I
But
some
I
other
saw on
stretching and stuff for
Strava.
the IT band.
Yeah, I saw on Strava you were doing extra stretches.
Yeah. So
I don't know
I
if this
feel
is
much better.
real. I don't know if this is real or not, but because I get shin splints a lot. I read that the knee and shin splints are caused by overstriding. I don't know if that's real. I don't know, so maybe try taking baby steps and see if that
Okay.
changes something. A really good way to think about it is like when you run up hills, you will never overstride, right? Because
Right.
you just will always put your weight directly or your feet directly underneath your weight because you're climbing. And to think about that movement, but I don't know if that's
Good
gonna
idea.
I don't know if that's gonna solve your thing. But
We'll
I
give it a
read that
shot.
recently,
I
actually.
I felt really good today running the 2 miles, and I ran at a faster pace.
Oh, that's fucking
Um,
awesome.
Cool.
when my watch died, I wasn't paying attention, but when I looked at it after, I was running quite a bit faster than I did last Sunday,
Nice.
Cool.
Do your legs feel
which is
shaky
good.
right now?
Yeah, a little bit. Thanks. They feel, yeah, a little bit shaky, way better than they did on Sunday. So I was talking to Jed earlier today, and on Tuesday, I did a 2 mile ruck with 25 pounds. And I like to do the rucking because it helps me get my legs, because that's what I feel like. My lungs are decent,
Mm-hmm.
not great, but they're decent. It's just my legs. Like my body would break down before I couldn't
Totally.
breathe anymore. And so
Yeah.
putting all that extra weight on and doing that 2 miles and doing a decent walk pace really helped me get my legs underneath me a little bit more and
That's
get them
awesome.
stronger. But yeah, I'm feeling really good actually. My mentality's really good. Feel like my mental health is improving because I'm exercising again. It's crazy. I was
Cool.
talking to my wife about that.
Makes
It's
a
like
big
it's just
difference.
crazy how much better my day is because I exercise in the morning.
Yeah, totally.
Like just like my mood and everything. So it's really great. So yeah, it was a good week for me.
Well,
Did
that's
some
awesome.
yoga and some stretching and way more active than I have been in years. So which is good.
I fucking love yoga.
I started lifting, Johnny, a few years ago, and the only time I could find in my schedule, because I just could not get up early enough with my job. I don't even think the gym, because I'm just at the rec center, I don't even think they were open yet. So it was like the only time I could lift was 8 o'clock at night. And so it was like I would put the kids to bed, I'd read them stories, they were younger, and they'd go to sleep, and then I'd hurry and change and run to the gym and work out for an hour. And I tell you, there is nothing that will make you grouchier all day than knowing at the end when you're super duper tired, you get to go lift a bunch of heavy things up. That was
Yeah.
not the right strategy.
Yeah, I found that if I do it right when I get home from work, because during the work day, I have to leave for work at 6:30 in the morning. So that's to
Mm,
me right now, it's too early to get up
that's
to
hard.
do
Mm-hmm.
exercise unless I'm doing like a 20-minute yoga or something, which I can do.
Yeah.
But I found that if right when I get home, I just immediately work out and don't allow myself to sit down and be lazy, then I'm a lot more motivated to just get it done
Awesome.
right away.
I
How
am
did
hard.
like the run versus the ruck feel?
I was telling Jed earlier, I felt really in rhythm with the ruck, because it's not as hard on my joints, because it's a walk essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like I got more of a workout. Maybe it was because I did it for an hour rather than 15 minutes or 20 minutes for a run. But I did it for an hour, and by the end of it, I was like just like dripping sweat, and like I felt like I was in a really good rhythm with it.
Super cool.
Yeah, it's good. I really like it. Jed helped me fit it today.
I like the.
It didn't get too weird, by the way.
Got a
Thanks,
little
Jed.
weird.
Not too weird though.
It
A little weird's
probably was a
okay.
lot better once you put on your pants. Then it probably was way better.
I told him that was the key. That was the key thing he was doing wrong. I got the sense I might have been missing the message, but
It's like the ruck feels okay, just a lot of chafing. It's like, well,
Okay, Jed. What about your update?
let's see. What's the most prominent updates here? I did not get to the pool as I had hoped to this week. The way my job works is sometimes I don't get to pick when I'm working, and that happened a lot this week. But I did get in. Let's see if I include the one today. I got 4 pedals in just on the stationary bike at the work gym or at the clubhouse. I had to do a little bit of traveling this week, so those were good. The one today I've got sorry thighs, and I can tell I pushed a little harder than I had, and that feels good. I got one run. Decker, I think we may have talked about this week, but it's always interesting the first part of the run when you're trying to figure out how to run again.
Yeah.
And find any kind of rhythm that doesn't feel just like the most awkward and your body's breaking down from it.
I don't think I ever start a run feeling like I know how to run. I think like even if I'm running very regularly, I don't feel like I ever start a run being like, oh yeah, this is great.
It did feel like it was taking a little longer than it used to get into it.
I just don't. It might just be that I'm not made for running, but I don't ever feel like that. Sometimes, like I like not starting at least. But so you got to run in.
Got to run, got 4 pedals.
Nice.
Uh
Kicker arrived.
Oh yes, so I ordered the kicker and it is sitting in a box right over here. We need to decide what we want to do with that in terms of unboxing it.
We should talk about that, like, because like there's opportunity for content there, right?
I think so.
Right. And the other thing is depending on how transparent we want to be with data. We could do FTP tests and have those be broadcast. We can do that a couple of different ways. We can record it and then edit it. We can record it with us as the peanut gallery, watching you go through the pain of an FTP test.
I think that would be awesome.
It would be very funny, but also very transparent. Intimate.
Yeah.
Transparent.
So that's one thing that's real, right? Sam is it may feel a little intimate, but also I think there may be more setup there in some of those examples that's worthwhile, kind of based on where we're at in the development of this thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have 5 different cameras and lighting and stuff that would make this, like, I've got a webcam on my computer at my desk, right?
Well, you're gonna because you need to set it up to a laptop, right?
Need to set what up to a laptop?
Your kicker,
Your kicker.
or to
Yeah, so
your.
essentially, when you're
Or
doing your
your
test, you
what?
probably have a laptop in front of you, and so you just turn on that little camera, and it
And
will
record.
you.
You can just run Discord. Yeah, you just run Discord in the back, and we'll do it. But I actually don't set mine up through. I don't run mine through my laptop. I run it through my desktop, and so it's obnoxious. But I set my bike up. You can see it right behind me, and just face it towards my actual desk, and then ride towards my desk.
Whatever Bluetooth you can connect your kicker
Yeah.
to. But Johnny, do you know an FTP test? So basically, this is what it is. So there's different versions of it, but theoretically, for 20 minutes, you are gonna ride your bike as hard as you possibly can until you have zero amount of energy at the end. So it is 20 minutes of, and your impossibly hard is different from anybody else's, but then it measures what your output was for that. And then it puts out a number of saying, okay, if you were to do this amount of watts for 1 hour, this is basically your threshold that you have in your body. So you do it for 30 minutes or 20 minutes, so your numbers are going to be higher than what you can do for an hour. And then it's going to say, okay, a little less than that, and here's your hour.
So the idea is an FTP is your functional threshold power. The concept and really it's just a metric to be able to say to measure how strong you are on a bike. But theoretically it's how many watts you can do for an hour, like Sam was just saying. And so you measure it and you do tests that is just like you put everything you can into the bike and it sucks. It sucks so hard the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you get your measurement
It's
at
like-
the end of it, and it tells you how much bike you push when you bike.
Yeah, it's like they give you a hill, and actually on Zwift, it's comically called "Oh Hill No." That's pretty great.
It is very great.
And so it's basically like you have this hill that you climb up, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna sprint up this hill as fast as I can. And the one we did before at Sufferfest, I don't know if Zwift does this, but they do your three metrics. They do how fast, how many watts you can throw for 1 minute, and then how many watts you can throw for 10 seconds. And so, like, you go all out for 10 seconds, and then you go all out for 1 minute, and then you go all out for 20 minutes. And then it tests what you're doing. But, like,
They're not
theoretically, you should be lying down on the floor in, like, a puddle of goo when you're done with it because you used every bit of energy you got.
Yeah. And
So that's what we're saying we want to put on the camera.
That doesn't sound very
Is
fun.
it's the
us
best.
going through that. But okay, here's
It would be
the
fun
other
to watch
juice
someone
of
else
this,
do
though.
it.
It's type 2
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, exactly. Here's the juice of it, though. Your system, your smart trainer, and your system that you run it on will now be smart enough to understand this is Johnny's threshold for an hour, and then it will design your workouts on what is correlated to your ability. So if you do interval training or you do some other type of training, it's like, hey, we're going to do this hills training. It's going to adjust it to your level to give you the maximum amount of effort that you can put in that's appropriate for that type of workout. So that's why it's amazing in this system is like, okay, I want to have a chill ride. Well, Johnny's version of a chill ride is this because it knows what your version of a chill ride is. And then it's like, no, I want to have a crazy ride. And then it's like, okay, well, here's your version of some hit interval training. And so it'll give it to your level. And it's super awesome.
It is really good. It's what I was talking about last time when we were talking, that if you're following along at home, you won't be able to hear me say that because I didn't record my voice. But it's the trainer meets you where you're at, right? as opposed to a hill outside. It's not going to meet you where you're at. It's just a hill. So an hour on the trainer is super beneficial. Anyway, we don't have to wax poetic about it. But what I do think we should, or any more than we already have, but I do think we should record FTP tests on here. Maybe we do them all at the same time. Maybe we, do them individually and have the other people watching and heckling, which maybe not heckling, cheering. But it is worth thinking about.
I think it would be super funny
Um,
and just ridiculous.
Sam, you gotta give your update.
So my goal this week, I have two. So I had one that I actually didn't talk deeply about, but part of what I'm trying to do this year is I wanna do all the things that I've done in the past, but I wanna see if I can do it better than I've ever done it. Not just go through it, but I wanna like you can go through a race and you're just trying to finish, or you can go through a race and you're trying to race it, and you're going through a race trying to race it and be serious about it. So I want to be a little more serious about it. So part of that is I need to lose some weight. So I got to go through a cutting phase. So I'm doing that right now. So my goal is just lots of miles, but also, so I'm not going to do some crazy trying to develop my, like whatever, get my FTP up through the roof. Right now I'm just trying to put some miles on it. So my goal was to just beat my time that I had the week before. So the week before, I had 6 hours and 56 minutes on moving my body. So I knew I was going to be away for this weekend, so I had to beef up my weekly activities. So I did it officially today, as of today. So I'm at 7 hours and 19 minutes.
Nice.
So I beat it. So I did it. Hooray!
That's great.
But I didn't get, because usually I like to do like a longer something on the weekend, like a longer run or a longer bike ride. But I didn't really get that. So I went for a long hike today, but it was a crazy hike. I didn't go on any trail. I just kind of went up my own way up the mountain and felt like I did 1,000 lunges because I was just scrambling over every rock that I could ever go through. And then I got down and ran down on a trail. But so it was good. It was a good week. The way I got my miles is I did more time on the bike. So I did longer rides on the bike, did like an hour and a half for each session, or an hour and 20 minutes for each session. And like you, Johnny, I did it just right after work. So just to try and get it done and get it out. So it was good. It was a good week. It was an odd week. It felt different than I typically do because all my patterns were broken up. Different time frame, different way I'm approaching it, stuff. And because I'm trying to cut, I did feel super tapped through some of it and realized, well, I gotta adjust my caloric intake for what I'm doing. And that's gonna be we'll see. I gotta play with that.
That's a hard one. I'm also cutting. That is hard. And it makes me feel like I'm spacey. It makes me a spacey brain, which is not awesome.
So Johnny, you'll notice there's some terminology difference in the way Decker and Sam talk and the way you and me talk. Last week we're like, man, it'd sure be great if we could lose some weight. And then that's what Decker and Sam are talking about. They just want to lose some weight. But
Listen,
but
if you
they
say
have
if you're
to they have
cut,
to have performance athlete
Yeah.
terminology. So we're cutting.
Yeah, you have to like. No, hold on. But say it. Say it out loud. Say that you're in a cut phase.
I'm not going to say that.
Say it.
That is not a thing that's in my lexicon, nor will it ever be.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is if you say
This
you're in
is
a cut
my-
phase, then you're already like 90% of the way there.
And that's
Yeah, but here's the
that's
deal.
10% of the way down the road I don't want to go.
If you use the phrase cutting, though, then when you're gaining weight, you can use the phrase you're bulking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
so then it's way better. It's like No, I didn't just blow out my doors and ate a bunch of hamburgers for no reason. I'm
Yeah,
bulking right
this is
now.
bulk.
Like,
This is I'm looking to bulk here. It's important. These are important things. Much like getting the pre-workout that's like ultra. You get it's about tricking.
Oh, that's out on my porch. I need to. My pre-workout showed up today.
Nice. Anyway, it's about tricking your brain into doing the thing you need it to do. It's about outsmarting yourself into a healthier version of yourself. That's the whole thing.
but like once you start doing this and viewing it like, I don't know, food is so hard.
They say
right?
you have to have two people for a cult, Decker. But if you're really just tricking yourself into doing something, you're a cult of one.
That's right.
So it's like
Hey.
an army of one, but it's a little different slant on it.
Yeah.
And you're asking why he asked the three of us to join the call.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have some other updates.
Oh, yes, please.
I got some pre-workout earlier this week. It works wonders,
You did.
by the way.
Does it
Yep.
let me ask you, does it have a muscly guy on there?
No, but it's called. It's a pretty well known. It's Explode.
We
That's so
talked
good.
about this.
It's so
Decker and I
good.
texted about this week because I was looking at them and I went and looked at the stuff I had and it's expired and whatever. So I was looking at them. They have the most crazy bonkers
They're
names
crazy.
that
Yeah.
like so many of them. It's like, for the same reason I'm not going to use the word cut, I'm not buying this product. It sounds too stupid.
Yeah, NO Explode.
I know that stuff. I used that stuff
Yep.
for a while. Yeah.
It is sour, and every time I drink it, my face puckers up.
Mm-hmm.
But
bet-
it
What did I
works.
get?
So inevitably, go ahead.
Peach mango was the flavor I got, and I'm quite looking forward to that.
It's good. I've had that one. It's good.
Mine's not explode. Mine's beyond lit, and mine flavor is gummy worms.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
I know. It's so good.
Beyond. That's a great name. Beyond Lit.
Yeah.
See, and here's
Um,
like they're probably all similar, right? I don't know. Like the fact of the matter is we're buying buying powders off the internet, and hopefully these powders make us feel energized to work out. Like fundamentally,
some
that's
dudes-
what's happening.
Yeah, some dude's just making it in their kitchen and putting it in a plastic
100%.
container.
100%. That is the case.
Yep.
But
it's
the
working.
thing that's gonna happen, Johnny, when you do that, there's gonna be some moment where you're like, "Okay, I'm ready. I just got done with work. Take my pre-workout." You're gonna take your pre-workout. Your wife's gonna be like, "Did you not remember we have to talk to like your kid's teacher or something?"
Yeah, you're gonna go to the
And you're
school.
like, "Oh shoot, it will happen. I promise."
Yeah.
There's some moment that's gonna happen, and you're gonna have to have some serious adult conversation with your face just like tingling
Tingly.
and your body just going through this whole
The
experience.
shakes.
For sure. I used to, when I was in Seattle, I would lift at night. I would lift after work, and I would drive across the bridge and drink my pre-workout as I was crossing the bridge. But every now and again, I'd drink it, and then traffic would get backed up, and I would be stuck in my car in traffic when my pre-workout hit, and it was the worst. It was so bad. You want to get out and run laps across the bridge.
My bad experience with this, I'll try and keep it brief, and it's kind of gross, but so I wanted to like check with my digestive system, so I ordered one of those things offline that's like, hey, just put some blood on this thing and then it'll tell you all the things you're allergic to, your like food allergies and stuff, right? And things that you should stay away from, or it's good for your body type to eat. Anyways, so I'm like, get the thing in the mail. I was like, oh, it's morning. It's like 5 a.m. I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'll just prick my finger real quick, put the drops of blood on it, then I'll go work out. Great. drink my pre-workout, then I read the instructions, and it's like, if you are doing this, you have to understand, you need to drop blood in this space enough that it fills up this whole circle. And it's not just like a little tiny drip, it's like a big drop of blood. And if you don't do it, this whole thing is lost. And it's like $300 that I've already spent on this thing. Okay, great. So I go and I prick my finger with the little thing that they have, and it like does this tiny little drip, tiny, and then it just like heals up. And I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of blood on this. And then it's like, no, they gave me a lance. The second one, I do the second one, and the second lance does the exact same thing. I don't even like remotely get enough. So now I'm in this moment of like, this whole thing is going to be like shot. I'm going to throw $300 in it, or I got to find a way to get enough blood on this card. So I'm like finding safety pins in my house. My face is just like itching. I'm going crazy. I don't realize how hard it is to get your own blood out of your body, and how much like pressure and nerve you have to like poke a safety pin into your finger until it bleeds enough to like get this thing. It was horrific. Absolutely horrific. It was like, took me like 45 minutes. It was terrible.
Puts the
So something like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, inevitably.
So drink responsibly.
My bike shoes came, and my bike came. Thanks, Jed.
Bike shoes and bike. That
Yeah,
is.
So I just need to go snag a helmet.
You need to. So
my bike delivery service is one of the slowest in the lands. I
But
think it started its journey last year.
No, this
Or
year.
no, it was this year. It was
this year. Yeah.
It was this year, but your success rate is really high.
It is.
That's true. It's a 100% delivered satisfaction.
Guaranteed. Satisfaction.
Guaranteed?
Yes.
I was going to say satisfaction notwithstanding.
Wholly satisfied.
Here's the secret bit to that. Did you get a cleat for those shoes? Because that's something that I didn't tell you needed to do. So you get the shoe, and you got to get a cleat that screws into the bottom of that shoe.
Nope, I just have a shoe.
Yeah.
But
okay.
two shoes. It came with two, not just one.
Okay, good.
He bought both.
Yeah. Okay, I'll send you a link for the cleats, and then that
you
way
can go to any bike shop. We'll have them.
That's true. Any bike shop will have them, and they will also help explain.
But there's certain cleats for your certain pedals.
Okay.
Cleats for certain pedals, and shoes for those cleats.
Types of cleats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which you have 2-bolt cleats is what they're called. So they're cheap. It's easy. That part is the easiest part. It's like $10.
I educated him on how not to get out of your pedal correctly and then fall over on top of Decker.
Yeah, and inevitably it will happen, and that's okay. I have had it happen multiple times.
Where you forget to take your foot out and you tip over.
Tip over, yeah.
Did you actually tip over into someone else and take them down too? Because that was my personal favorite thing that's happened on the bike.
Jed did that, tipped over, took me out. My top tube of my Surly, that steel bike, like wailed into my thigh. I had like a huge bruise. Like it was amazing.
You were a real champ about it. He was only a little bit. Only his face betrayed his anger.
But that was a real eventful ride weekend for Jed in Seattle. Jed tipped over on me.
Yep.
Got hit by a bus.
True.
And maybe that's it. Was that
Oh,
it?
and then we went up that Boss Hill.
That's true. We did do that. Yeah.
That hill was very steep.
Yeah. Seattle Hills. Okay.
Do you know the one I'm talking about? The one in particular? It's not very long, but it's
I-
very, very steep.
I do recall it.
Yeah.
It was brutal. Um, Johnny, there's going to be a whole host of things that you'll need to do to set up the bike.
Okay.
Do you have a bike pump? Do you have a tire pump?
Yeah.
Okay, that's step one.
It might be
Are you
different.
gonna ask him about
Oh,
the valve
shoot.
type? Because that's
that's true.
a whole thing.
Might not be the right valve type.
Check your bike pump because it's got the little skinny valves.
Little skinny baby
It's not like a
valves.
mountain bike tire.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then the next
A lot of newer pumps have it though.
Yeah, and then the next part is you will inevitably lower that seat quite a bit. I realized that I didn't put the saddlebag on there, which sucks. So I got to get you a saddlebag somehow. It's got like a tool and like an inner tube and shit in there, so it will make you more hardy when you get a flat tire sometime.
I envision a United States Postal Service box or envelope.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we were going to talk about what our rules, our sad boy rules are, but we ran out of time with updates because we just did updates this whole time. But maybe that's okay.
We could put some more thought into that before we roll into it next week.
Yeah, let's do that. So next week when we come, we'll do updates. We should do goals really fast. What we want to do this upcoming week. But next week when we come back, we're gonna define the sad boy charter and define what the rules are.
What does it mean to be a sad boys?
Yeah, to be a sad boys. And then we'll get that defined and put in contractual form and make everybody sign it.
And anybody that doesn't agree with the contract is now a suspicious person, and you need to disconnect them from your life.
That's right. That's right. You need
Good
to
enough.
you need to push them out.
I watched a documentary on. I shouldn't say that. I listened to a documentary on the drive from St. George to Salt Lake today about cults, and it was a deprogrammer, and it was very interesting. That has nothing to do with this particular group of sad boys.
Okay. Quick goals. Johnny, what are your goals?
I want to run a 5K and I want to get the bike set up to be able to ride the following week.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Jed, what are your goals?
Yeah, I'm going to, well, I want to get, shit, I don't know, because it depends on whether I'm doing some filming to unbox this damn thing or not. But I want to get 5 rides in this week on something. It's not going to be outside. I forgot to mention when I ran, it was 17 degrees.
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's not
And
fun.
I couldn't breathe. I feel like my lungs could breathe, but I couldn't breathe. Everything was weird because I was in like a jacket, and I hate running in jackets and pants. Everything felt terrible, but I want to see if I can do if I can find a warm enough time. I don't want to do it on a treadmill. I want to do a 2-mile timed run just to kind of see where I'm at. When I was in the Army, everything was kind of measured against the 2-mile run time. So that's a good way for me to kind of baseline how much work I have to do to get back. So I'd like to get that done this week if I can, and maybe one other run that's kind of a slower, longer run.
Yeah. Supported. Okay, Sam, what's your goals?
So I want to, my first, and it's kind of more nebulous, is I want to still iron out increasing my minutes, but also with the caloric deficit I'm trying to go through, figure all that out. So I want to get a little better about figuring out my losing weight phase and my minutes that I'm trying to do. But I also want next week to look like a more normal, steady training week. So a blend of running and biking.
I'm still struggling with that too.
Yeah, get it back into a pattern of what I'm doing. And then I mean, I have a lot, it sounds like, but that will just kind of inherently happen. I would like to swim, and I want to do one big run next week. So those are my main ones is swim and a big run, but then to make that all work, I want everything else to kind of start flowing.
Yeah.
I know this, we need to make a topic about this at some point, but like, what's a big run as it pertains to training to do this particular run the best?
Oh, that's a loaded question. For sure.
That's a big question, right? That's like an episode in and of itself, I think.
Yeah, probably. We should make a note to discuss that. And I think like because it's such early days for us in the training thing, I think it should be like right now, as long as we have touches, right? You're saying like I'm gonna run 3 times, I'm gonna ride the bike 5 times, I'm gonna do these things. As long as you're being conscientious and not hurting yourself, then that's probably all. Like that's a great place to start, right? A longer run is awesome if that's in the cards, right? But from a measurement standpoint right now is just understanding like how often, like getting that frequency and setting up the consistency, and then we can really figure out like as far as the way that I'm approaching it, I'm looking for the consistency, and then I can figure out what the hell I need to be able to accomplish in order to meet the long-term goals of the season. Because we haven't really talked about it, but Sam and I are talking about doing a full in October, which means our
You have different training objectives that aren't this.
but no, yes, they're in addition to, right? And so our consistency will be the same, right? All of our touches on a weekly basis, like how many pedals, how many runs, how many swims, all of those things should be about the same regardless of target distance. As long as and then Sam and I will bite off more for those touches on a per week, but are all fundamentally the programs should be about the same, right?
Yeah,
It's
no,
the
that
in theory
we
makes
talked
sense.
about.
Yeah, in theory, but I don't know. I think a lot of this is figuring that out. So, my goals this week. I'm starting that Trainer Road training program, the AI written training program through Trainer Road. Thanks for the sponsorship.
We didn't do sponsorships.
We didn't do
this week,
sponsorships. We didn't. I'm sorry, everybody, but
which is probably
okay. What do we
for
got?
the best.
Celsius.
Celsius. Thank you,
Dude,
Celsius.
Thank you, Celsius. It's basically a pre-workout.
I don't have it with me because I can't keep them on the shelf. Dot's Pretzels. I introduced my parents to them, and they stole my bag. And
Dot's
they
Pretzels
are the absolute pinnacle of empty carbs.
They are.
You should Google how much that lady sold that company for.
Yeah.
It just
Is it
the
so
fact
many?
that
Mhm.
the fact that she made that much money on pretzels just makes my heart just warm and fuzzy. I just love it.
Yeah.
Some ladies like, I do make them better than anybody else, and they're like, dang, you do. Here's a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that.
I just Googled it. That's absolutely crazy.
You
Give
can say
me-
the number.
give
'Cause
me-
I didn't want to say it because I knew I'd overflate it or underinflate it, and I get it wrong. But
In
much was it?
2021, Hershey bought Dot's pretzels for $1.2 billion.
I love
Dude,
it.
that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's way better than our $60 million a year podcast deal.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But
Great.
our sponsorships are really where it's going to come through.
Good for Lady Dot.
Yeah. So
Her gummies are pretty good too. I like those too. Sorry.
dots are awesome.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
But my goal is to pick up that training, complete all the stuff when I'm supposed to do the things, but I'm really focused on recovery and making sure I don't know, like it's sustainable. Because I could throw myself at the training thing for a week and you can make it through a week, but if it's not sustainable, then it's not. Like I have to figure out how to recover properly and fuel it properly. So those are hard things. So that's a nebulous thing, but I guess the hard goal to be able to check in on is whether or not I hit all of the workouts in the way that I'd like to hit them. So, it's 3 runs, 2 bike rides, 3 swims. Oh, nice! Another sponsorship.
I didn't think those would be here for weeks.
Yeah, it's another sponsorship. That's great.
Another sponsorship. White's boots. Do not run a triathlon in them.
Yeah, don't do that. You can fight a forest fire with them, but don't run a triathlon.
That's true.
But that's it. I want to be able to hit all of the workouts that I have planned for next week, and then in a nebulous goal, recover from them.
It's awesome. That'd be good.
Decker, you didn't appreciate the guy psychotically looking at his knife from all angles.
Yeah, I did appreciate that. Okay. Should we be done in case Kevin comes into the room?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't look at us.
Look at us. I'm stopping the recording.